Okay, we're back again.
Hi guys.
We've been really going crazy over wanting to do a video, and so here we go. We wanted to elaborate more on the last video we did, and I think we have some pretty good stuff. So we'll just hit the ground running. In our last video, we talked about having a vision for your family, and how important that is. And we yeah, we had some good stuff going on that video, I think. So because we had just watched it again, and I was like, I like that. That sounded pretty good, I guess. So, but I'm biased, obviously, but kind of helps me get my head back in the game. So it is what it is. Scripture says to teach yourself. You know, you got to do that sometimes, I guess. But
That's right.
but no, we've been really busy. We had a good spontaneous vacation that we went on, and some of this stuff I think is going to speak to the vision that we have for our family. By the way, we had a spontaneous vacation that we went on.
Two actually.
Two of them, and it was just kind of a back-to-back thing, and we just were like, let's, YOLO, so.
And speaking on one of those, the first one that we went on was a hike in the mountains, and I think, lots of time together and building a stronger bond with one another. That was the first time we've ever been on a hike.
Speaks to our vision for our marriage is, at least, and this is kind of generic, but it's that it be a good marriage. So that's not very specific, but but it's to be intentional and for it to be healthy. And also, she, I have to brag on her, she went on a hike. It was a mile or two or whatever. She's not an outdoorsy person, but
2 miles.
She said that hiking doesn't make her happy, but hiking with me makes her happy because it makes me happy. So I thought that was kind of a breakthrough. So that was really good. And then I guess God blessed her for it, because then she had a friend call and say, "Hey, I need you to go to the beach for me. I'm not able to make it." So we're like, "Yeah, okay, I guess we need to figure that out." And then her family was in town, and we're like, "Well, good, we can invite her family." And it just turned into a whole God thing. It was so cool. Not that it's just about like going on vacations and traveling is like whatever, but this was just there was so much quality time there that we can't deny that.
So you can definitely have a good marriage and it so quickly turn not good. So it's kind of something that you always have to be intentional about, make time for one another. Even, short date nights, or send the kids to bed early and watch a movie or something. I think it's important to be intentional to have time
maintenance.
together.
Maintenance. Yeah, definitely. I've got let's finish what we been doing the past few months, is why we're not just cranking out like videos all the time, because we're so busy. You had cataract surgery, and not like I kind of just always thought cataract surgery was that they clean maybe your cornea, peel off a layer or something, but this was a lens replacement. And so,
and uveitic.
Yeah, so it was kind of high risk. She only has one seeing eye. So even the doctor's kind of like, no pressure. But she did a great job, and Sabrina can see better now. They put the lens in, and they had to heal, then they had to clear it up a little bit with a laser. Just all kind of just easy stuff, right? Like, yeah, sure, cut my eye and pop it with a laser and all that. Oh, it's just all fun. But no, it was not really fun. But we definitely just were like, it's faith time, and that's how we handled it. And everything turned out really good. And then she just recently got her new prescription, and she could see in ways better than she's ever been able to see. So, do you want to talk about that, or do you want me to keep talking about what
too much,
you would
but I will
want to talk
say
about?
I haven't seen myself really in 4 years. So, seeing yourself 4 years later, with a little bit more wrinkles and all that was a lot
I was
of
going to
fun.
say, I mean, not being able to see you has got to be pretty rough, because I wouldn't want to be that way. I like seeing you, so.
I like seeing you too.
Yeah, yeah, you're real. You're really winning now. What can I say? I mean, no, she didn't. She still, kisses me. So now that she could see me better, so I guess I'm okay. Yeah. So, with all that being said, we want to talk about the last video some and unpack that a little bit. One thing I wanted to try to articulate is how, we have like these truths that have so much meaning, and then we use terms to describe those, those truths, and you could then take those terms and kind of put them together, and then you have a concept that you can apply to create a reality. You're bringing forth a reality that at least that's what you want to do. In your marriage, you can't always be on autopilot. Mm-mm. So I hope I said that in a way that made sense. That's kind of the understanding behind kind of what we're going to talk about as far as structure and vision goes. That's some words we use to have a lot of meaning and truth in them. So to elaborate on that, like you have structure, your family structure, the nuclear family, man, woman, and child, and that's how a family is a family. Now that's not to say that you don't have other situations that could make things maybe more challenging, but still function. It's still a family. You can have single parent families. You can have blended families. But we the traditional nuclear family is definitely something that we think is important, and that we need to be able to strengthen and take care of and maintain in its specific way. So that's kind of the structure idea there. And then we, in the last video, she mentioned having a vision for your family, and I was like, oh yeah, here we go. General, kind of have a general vision, and that's just kind of like structure. That's a God design thing. That's just kind of set. And then you have a vision for your family, like what are the specifics? Like, how do you see it panning out? What's that reality? Again, back to the having your truth and the meaning that's behind your terms that you use, your ideas that kind of make up a concept that you apply to your life, and then you have a reality. You get an effect, and so we kind of have that structure. And then we want to kind of start to get that to flow. And one thing I wanted to say as far as like maintaining your marriage is, like, you can have that structure, but that can just kind of be an autopilot thing. And you could do just fine, just live life, and the institution of marriage could take you a long way just in a simple way. But we definitely have been told, and we've learned that maintaining your marriage and relationship, it's just important. It really makes it healthy and strong. So yeah. So what we were going to do is just kind of like figure out what our vision is.
Well, I think I want to mention, and you might have kind of touched on it, that when you can have a broad vision, like when you get married to your spouse, you kind of, like when we got married, we talked about, let's have a house, white picket fence, you work, I stay at home. We have kids. We kind of spoke about that when we first got married. But then as we grew and, you know, our marriage, you know, we start having kids and all of that, that vision you have for your marriage isn't always like easy. You have to look at your circumstances too. You don't just have to say, okay, this is what we want to do and this is what we're going to do. For us, I've always struggled with my health or visual impairment or whatever. So I wouldn't have the quote unquote, like how mothers are, like take your kids to soccer and have dinner ready when your husband gets home. We've had to work at it in different ways where I am able to do a lot with the kids and stuff, but he's the driver in our family. So there's little things that you have to look at. And in raising your kids, their personalities are going to be different than what you might think. You know, our son, he loves games. He loves to read. He's very, very smart. And he's not so big into football or sports or whatever. And we could yet. And so, like, before we got married, we thought we were going to have a little football player. But now we have a little gamer. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You have to, you know, have some room to move and say, okay, let's do it this way instead. Not just so like this is what it's gonna be like. And if that's how you're gonna be, I guess it's okay too. It might just be a little harder. God has created people different. I'm a Bible nerd, and I was reading the other day about Samson. If you've ever heard that story, he had long hair and was strong because of his hair. But before he was born, his parents prayed and asked God, like, please show me how I'm supposed to raise him because I don't know. And I think that's important for all of us to ask God, how do you see our family? What should our vision be? How should we raise our children?
Yeah, that's really good. Because you have to, I mean, you really need to seek what the truth is, like of your reality, like what's really going on. We had talked about that in a video like a while back. You know, recognizing the realities, like what's going on is what's going on, and you have to deal with that. But then like implementing your vision. It's good to have realistic goals because then when you can reach a realistic goal, that's a battle you win. You get confidence, you have some health, and then you can keep building on that. That's not to say that you can't dream. We should dream big. We should fail big. You know, we should do whatever we can do. But it's you know, definitely important to have good reasonable expectations, because that's just, you know, definitely has been something good for me. So
yeah, you're gonna love your spouse for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health. And in order to do that, you have to be able to have a little room to, I don't know exactly the word I'm looking for.
Just grace. Yeah. I mean, grace is like, learn that. Gosh, operate in that for sure. Grace and truth. So, well, let's talk about our vision for our marriage, like, and family, because we have a structure. We understand specifics that are outside of our control. So,
our vision for our family is for him to spoil me. To rub my feet every night and make me happy.
That's
just kidding.
Not really a joke. That's and that's not for everybody, maybe, but that is was part of my vision coming into our relationship. She kind of liked that, so that worked out good for me.
I don't mind.
Yeah, so that no, that's seriously that's I think is a part of I want my wife to feel loved, and I want to be passionate about taking care of her. And then you get in that whole love language thing. That's a really cool thing to look into. So yeah,
I
that's one
think
thing.
that women
Mm-hmm.
want more than love. They want to feel treasured, and I think,
Mm-hmm.
and cherished. Um, and I think that's something that he works towards, not just showering me with gifts and making sure I feel loved every day, but making me feel like cherished.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then my goal is to make him happy and to do what he wants me to do, cook certain things,
Mm-hmm.
or you know, parent. I don't mean that in a weird way, but like
She plays her role, and that's very helpful.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like to take some of that
Mm-hmm.
stress off of him. I don't want him to have to like fix the girl's hair and stuff. Like I like
Which
to
I'll do that.
get
I'll do that.
he will do
I'll do
that,
that.
but for
Might
our
give them
family,
a
I
bath
like
once
to
a
be the
week or
one
something. Mm-hmm.
to take care of the kids and homeschool them and all of that. And so he's able to work, and he does help me homeschool, and we kind of do that together. But I do the majority of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's those that's kind of your typical your setup, like how we're in our roles and what's the setup going to be. So yep. And as far as what I was going to say maybe about our vision is we kind of maybe have to be a laid back family because of your condition and all. So it's like take the reality you have and then kind of cast a vision on it. It's like, well, we can't necessarily be super high functioning overachievers like maybe some people are, and that could be your vision for your family. But we don't really have that option. So it's like, well, I guess we're just gonna have to take it easy sometime, and sometimes, and so it's like, okay, well, that's maybe that's not such a bad thing. So we're a family that likes to be laid back and kind of just take it easy, and we like to have fun. That's definitely helps us get through stuff. And as far as like, because we talked about our marriage and our relationship, but what about like the family vision and like our kids and kind of how we want that to flow, And so as far as our kids, like we want our kids to be like good friends, and that's hard a lot of times to even find like good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So but that's something we want our kids to be. We want them to be thoughtful of the other kids that they know, and we just want them to be. I don't know if if that sounds like too utilitarian, like they're just you go out there and you be a friend for somebody, but we feel like that our kids can be that, and I think it's gonna be a cool feature. That we'll have.
Yeah, another thing that with our kids, we don't want them to just follow whatever's in. Now, we're not going to make them strange kids that nobody wants to play with.
Like be all wrapped up in trendy stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't want them to treasure everything that the world is chasing, because that will only leave them chasing more. And so I think for us, we want them to be content and to follow what God has for them. And that's hard to show. It's hard to show little kids that they always want to follow. They always want the next best thing. The next.
Well, that's how our society is set up, and that's definitely something that we don't want our kids to be gears in the machine. Definitely not. So we but we do, I mean, we want them to be, productive members of society though. So, and that's an actual, we intentionally look at what things in society can they interact with, because stuff, it enriches our lives, stuff we have. That's why it's kind of, these things have been invented to kind of enhance life or whatever, but a lot of times it takes life from us. But maybe you could go live in a cave and not whatever, to be that kind of have that kind of life, and hey, maybe that's better. But or you could be completely immersed in the world. And I hear about how people are addicted to electronics and that kind of stuff, and sometimes I'm like, well, is that really true? And then you kind of start to notice that people are completely, I mean, you feel a little tug on, and you're like, it's not that actually that much fun or whatever, but you can be completely addicted to these things, and can be completely just blinded by the world to what you really should be, or how you would really want to be living. Like you don't even see that anymore. So we definitely don't want our kids to be, kind of lost out there. So, but we we're going to let them, have fun and stuff. And so we selectively pick like what we feel like is just kind of acceptable kind of stuff. So, and that helps with being friends. This is just really kind of common sense stuff, but it's whatever hobbies you might have, and activities that you do, you share those with other people. And that's the awesome way to live, I think. And if you can cherish that, it's relationship.
So we have, for our family, it's kind of like love others, befriend each other, and then I guess follow God, follow His ways, and be in the world, just not of it. I think those things are important to us.
Yeah, we noticed that we have a kid who kind of was really easily able to fall right into the kind of trendy social things can be, and we're like, okay, that was good to learn. Let's maybe switch gears a little bit, because we think that there's something more valuable. Gosh, that's not even the best word. The things that we have in us, our gifts that God gives us, they're just beyond valuable. They're just like, if we only knew our potential. So so we were like, well, we want your kind of your best self to be in the front. So so we noticed that kind of thing. And then my son's into electronics and that kind of thing, which is cool. So I like to say he's the nerd that I should have been. So and then our other daughter, once now I'm saying who is who. So, because they're going to look back on these videos maybe and be like, what are you saying about me? But yeah, and so we see that she's very sweet, innocent, and fearless and strong. And it's like, wait, who do we have right now? Like, but just, I love it. I think it's great. So, well, we're going on a half an hour here, so maybe we should start to wrap it up. And I think that next video we should talk about what your structure should be, and how your reality around you, identifying that reality, like, wow, I'm in debt, I'm worried too much about my Camaro, I'm not paying attention to my wife, my neighbors don't even know who I am, like, what's the stuff that I need to maybe work on, that kind of thing. And then like, how can I cast a vision there to make it better?
You missed it today, but our pastor today was talking about we have to remember where your treasure is, there your heart is also. So whatever it is that what you treasure is where your heart should be.
That's one of my favorites.
We can say
that idea there in that scripture is just it's the whole deal.
We can say really that we treasure family or whatever, but what are we spending our money on? What are we spending our time on?
And then that's just, I mean, that's also kind of the reality that you make, though. There's really, we need to talk about also that, there's a reality you don't make. And then your vision is just going to have to somehow be incorporated into that. So, so there's that too. It's like we don't, we have a lot of hardship that we don't bring on ourselves. But that's a whole, I think that's a whole good thing to unpack. So like, what's your structure? What's your life realities, and then what's your vision? What's your like little goals that you're going to set up to reach that vision, and then it's just sit back and appreciate it. That's something that, I appreciate appreciating things like to just, tell our kids like you don't have to get the next toy that's coming out because you haven't even played with the one that you got before that. And they go and play with it and they're happy. It's like, oh, okay.
And appreciate your family members. Sit back and appreciate your
and just I love to just sit back and look at my kids and play and just watch them talk and listen to them laugh and we were talking about the other day to record our kids playing more and stuff, when they're having those moments when they're not fighting and like tearing up the house and screaming and all that stuff, and they're like all of a sudden like playing with Legos or playing Nintendo or playing with Barbies and the dollhouse and whatever, like, and they're like, like life is happening. The best that life could be is happening. Like, gosh, let's record this because you forget. We were talking about this like when we were watching the other video. I was like, oh, I kind of forgot that. I like what I was talking about. Like, I hope I had been applying that to my life. I think I have. So, but keep a record of things because that's how we can track along with the day to day and see our progress. So, but anyway, that's what I got. I think that's what we got. So we got to it's good stuff to build on. Oh, yeah, like and subscribe and click the notification bell if you're seeing this on YouTube. And
you can also tell us what you want to watch and come to us with some problems in your marriage or whatever.
The way you say that is comment down below.
Oh, comment down below.
Yes, that would be awesome. Whatever just any kind of comments, questions, or whatever, and we'll make sure to moderate that stuff. So, awesome. Cool. Well, all right. I think we've said something. So
I hope so. It's been 30 minutes.
So yeah, great. I enjoyed it. So I like, because I can see you, so you can see me. So I hope that's good. So anyway, well, God bless and have a good one.
Bye.